It is completely normal to have anxiety or jitters before your job interview. I once heard from one of my mentors that the nerves that you feel before any big event really can be translated into excitement because the physiological response, the biological response, is really identical to that of excitement. With that in mind, it's a good thing that you're feeling nervous because that shows that you really care about what's about to happen. If you were completely detached and even neutral or passive, you probably wouldn't feel nervous. So, first of all, take that as a good sign and take it as a sign that you are actually on the right path and going somewhere really exciting. However, there's a difference between the excitement nerves and the totally debilitating, oh my God, I can't sleep for nights, I can't eat, I can't even function as a person because I'm just so nervous. And that's why I made this video so that you can feel confident and prepared before really any type of interview, but especially for job interviews. For the best college and career advice, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every single Monday. And real talk, I used to be so nervous before interviews. Like, I wasn't even able to prepare or start writing answers to questions without feeling like my heart was going to be out of my chest. And then when I was actually in the interview, I was always basically unable to speak, sweating, like my palms were just completely drenched, and the person could tell I was very nervous. So I did get some of those roles, I didn't get some of those roles, but being visibly nervous is going to be a detriment to you. And here's why. When a person is interviewing you for a job, they're looking for somebody that they see themselves working alongside. Somebody that they're either going to feel comfortable managing or feel comfortable, working with in a similar type of role. And what they're really, really wanting is somebody that they like. Of course, it's really important that you have all of the qualifications, that you talk about yourself and your experiences so that you sound like like you can do the job. But really, the most important thing is that you come off as an authentic, likable, positive, team oriented person that anyone would be happy to work with. This is why the confidence factor is really, really so important. And I will be sharing my 3 tips to boost your confidence before any interview. My first tip is to remember what I just said. They want to like you. They want you to succeed in this interview because they invited you to an interview. So the person interviewing is not hoping that you fail or that you trip up, essentially. They are rooting for you to win deep down. Back when I was teaching, for some reason, again, I had this really weird thought pattern that everyone who was interviewing me wanted me to lose and was looking to root out the candidates and just expose all of my weaknesses. And going into the interviews with this mindset, I was like, oh my God, they hate me. Like, I just had so much imposter syndrome. And looking back on it, that really made no sense because these people were very friendly. They tried to get to know me. They really went out of their way to be positive. There was no reason for me to think any of those things. So you got to cut out that thought habit if it's something that you have going into an interview, that the people are looking for your flaws or they're looking to expose you somehow, because that is not at all the case. My second tip is kind of common advice. So I want to add something to it that most people don't usually add, which is that you need to prepare a lot. You need to feel prepared, but you also don't want to script out your answers step by step too much because that'll end up making you sound like a robot and it'll ultimately decrease your confidence in a weird way. So even though this sounds like it might be contradicting itself or a little bit counterintuitive, let me explain why it's important to strike a balance here. Obviously, you want to be prepared. You want to research the organization. You want to have answers to all of the questions planned out. And specifically, you want to use a storytelling method like the STAR method, where you talk about the situation, the task, the action you took, and the results you were able to bring. Like, you need to be able to turn your past experiences into stories, into results, and talk about them so that people understand, oh, this person can do a good job. But with that in mind, I would suggest personally doing a bullet point method. So you have all of the components of your stories, you have answers to all of the classic questions like, tell me about yourself. Tell me about a time you struggled in a role. Tell me about how you work in a team. Tell me about how you like to be managed. You should have pre-prepared ideas and stories to answer all of these questions, 100%. However, does this mean that you need to script out every single word that you're gonna say for each of those questions? No. Why? Because then you're gonna sound super inauthentic in the interview. You're gonna be struggling to remember everything that you said, and this is gonna increase your nervousness. So unless you're like a professional actor or something, you're gonna be struggling to remember every single aspect of those stories, and that's gonna make you more nervous, and you're gonna be in the interview thinking, oh my God, I forgot that word, or I forgot like that sentence, or that detail, and the whole thing is messed up. So by doing bullet points instead, you're able to give yourself a little bit more leeway in the conversation depending on where it goes, because first and foremost, this whole thing needs to feel as natural as possible. And finally, my third tip, it really is the key to feeling confident in your job interviews, is to practice your responses with another real live human being. Because even if you have your bullet points, even if you have the right mindset about how to go about the job interview and you have a positive way of looking at it, if you haven't practiced doing it, you're not going to be able to deliver your answers confidently and in a natural conversational way than compared to if you had done it previously multiple times. So really sit down with somebody, have them ask you the questions for the interview, give your responses as if they are the hiring manager doing the interview, and practice asking your follow-up questions, practice even just like your posture and wearing the clothes that you're gonna wear, because if you're wearing that outfit for the first time, it's gonna feel a little bit uncomfortable too, and just really gain a sense of comfort and familiarity doing that. This sounds like it might be a little bit unrelated, but I promise it is related. Like when I first started doing these YouTube videos a couple months ago, you can tell there's a visible difference between then and what I look like now. And the reason for that difference is because obviously I had not practiced before starting filming videos. I just did it. But now that I have weeks and weeks of practice, I no longer have to script out every single line I'm gonna say, and I can just sort of talk more naturally. And it comes across better and just overall feels more natural to me. So that is what you wanna strive for as an interviewee. You wanna feel natural, you wanna feel like you've done it 1,000 times, so this is no biggie. And I know it's easier said than done. So if you really think that you could use help in the area of preparing for interviews, I do offer one-to-one coaching for all aspects of the job search, really, resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn, as well as the interview portion. So if that's something you're interested in, or even if you just want general advice, feel free to hit me up on Instagram or through my email, and we can definitely talk about that. Comment down below if you have ever felt super nervous before an interview and what the outcome was or how you were able to change your mindset. Remember, everyone is rooting for you to win. The people hiring you are, the people interviewing you are, your friends, your family, your loved ones, and me. We all want you to crush this interview. So don't worry. You have no reason not to be confident. If you got the interview, that is a huge sign. And then once you get there, you just gotta be yourself. And that's how you land the job. Well, let me add something. Be yourself, be prepared, be professional, and remember that your experiences have made you a qualified candidate to do this job. I hope you all found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it to someone who you think might be feeling a little bit nervous before their next interview. And next week, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the current situation with the pandemic and how it's affecting higher education. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for it next Monday. As always, I really appreciate your time. I love making these videos, and whether it be about interviews or anything else, let me know if you have questions or things going on in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.